After a 4-year hiatus, the Predator franchise is back with a new entry to the series, Prey. Let's dive into what worked and what doesn't work in this interesting new take. Oh, by the way, loads of spoilers coming up. First off, let's get this out the way. The setting. I really enjoyed the idea of an older setting versus a modern setting. It allowed the filmmakers to do something different, including switching up elements of the score, using the same motifs but using an older sound, which I thoroughly enjoyed. It was the same, but different, which sums up most of the film. They still couldn't help themselves with a rather direct callback though.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
I was fully expecting the Last of the Mohicans score to kick in at any time, and the scenery in this film was gorgeous. Probably some of the best in the franchise without a doubt. Just some wonderful camera work to capture the scope of the land. I liked the use of the Comanche as a centerpiece of the story. I would have preferred if they could have gone further with it. I may be nitpicking here, but I would have preferred they used the language of the people rather than them speak English. This becomes even more jarring when she speaks a prayer of some sort in a native tongue, then switches back to English.
I saw what left those tracks.
The bear?
There was a bear, but there was something else.
Pick one and stick to it. But it does become a funny head scratcher when they run into some Frenchmen later on who speaks French. But the translator has to speak English.
What did you see? I speak a lot of languages. You are Comanche, yes?
What a headfuck that is. And to complete the circle of fuckery, Disney released the Comanche version of the film where they dubbed it. I guess, thanks for trying. Anyway, I want to get onto the protagonist of the story, Naru. For most of the film, she's a bumbling fuckwit who nobody takes seriously due to incompetency and, being a woman. But mainly, she's pretty incompetent throughout the story, until the last act where she turns into fucking John Wick. I shit you not. There's no progress in terms of development. She just goes from bumbling idiot to kick-ass heroine in a blink of an eye. I was really taken aback how much ass she was able to kick because it just comes out of nowhere. It's a pretty standard character arc. She wants to do what the men do and not what the women do in this society, and she'll do what is needed to do that.
Who invited you? We won't be gone long enough to need a cook.
She looks pretty cool though, to the point where it gets distracting because it feels like she's constantly posed to look cool. That might just be me though. She gets a cool gun for her troubles though. However, it's the one that ends up in Predator 2 in the Predator ship, so her future's not looking too bright. Her brother was pretty cool though, not too overpowered, just about right in how he was trying to take on the Predator. R.I.P. buddy. If I thought she was bumbling though, then the big boy, well, he takes the cake. The Predator goes from being a badass to a moron by the end of the film. It's a more basic version of the Predator, his weaponry is older and less sophisticated, and whilst I appreciate the idea, it doesn't work for me personally. This is set around 250 years ahead of the first Predator film, but they need the Predator to be advanced enough to visit Earth, but not so advanced that it just mollywop everyone with his plasma cannon. It's a really delicate balance, and I think they could have found another way around this issue by just having his cannon damaged. It seems like the filmmakers had an allergic reaction to the over-the-top Predator suit in Predators. I find it hard to believe that this Predator had interplanetary travel with a highly sophisticated spaceship, but his weaponry is pretty basic in respects to what we've seen elsewhere in the franchise. Now, he does have some cool toys, and great kills throughout, which is what you sign up for with these Predator films. The best one I would say was the net turning a guy into mashed potatoes. And I appreciate that his belief in advanced weaponry is ultimately what gets him killed. My girlfriend looked at me, not understanding why the hell that just happened. It's a pretty dumb oversight. Probably arrogance, but they set it up earlier when he was maskless trying to shoot the brother, and the projectiles were following the aim of the lasers on the mask. But what was fun to see was just how physical the Predator was, running through the jungle and fighting various other animals, and especially when he had to chase Naru through the tall grass. It was also interesting to see how vulnerable he was throughout the film. We get multiple examples of him being wounded by other predators at hunts. The wolf gets a bite out of him, and even the bear gives him a run for his money before getting flattened by an uppercut Tyson would be jealous of. Usually the predators are shown as rather infallible for the most part until we need them to lose to the hero. But from the outset here, it shows he has a bit of a struggle with various animals, and maybe that's the case of him underestimating his prey. I'd be curious to what your takes are on that, so let me know what you think about that in the comments. Oh, and whilst I'm asking, what's with the weird Predator design? Why do they keep messing with the original design? It's probably not as insulting as the newer Predator films where they have these updated ones beating the crap out of the older designed Predator. A trend in film where the new stuff's apparently much better than the old ones, and that just winds me up. Otherwise, the film was fine. It felt long for what it actually was, so maybe some tightening of the pacing earlier on in the film would have done wonders. Felt like they deleted a few scenes already. For example, the party set up to leave the camp to hunt a mountain lion, but end up finding another member of their clan. This confused me because it felt random that this guy just popped up. Was he a member of their initial party, or has he already been out hunting earlier and they just stumbled upon him? Then there's another character who just gets caught off guard by the lion and killed. Never mentioned again. We'll see if this film inspires more sequels. I'd be curious to see where they can go with it, and I'm more curious about the fan reaction of the franchise that started in the 80s, with Excess as the main course with a team of bodybuilders running around the jungle blowing shit up, trying to catch one predator, to now. I reckon it'll be some fun reading.